The morning of Mother's Day started like any other Sunday, quiet and calm. The sunlight filtered softly through the curtains, and the smell of coffee filled the house. I wasn't expecting much that day. Maybe a simple breakfast or a phone call from my daughter, Anna. She had been distant lately, busy with college and her new life in another city. I tried not to take it personally, telling myself that children grow up and drift away. But deep inside, I missed her. Her laughter, her hugs, the way she used to call me Mama with so much love. As I sipped my coffee, I thought about how much things had changed, and how the silence in the house had become my new normal. Just as I was about to start cleaning the kitchen, I heard the doorbell ring. I wasn't expecting anyone, so it startled me. When I opened the door, there she was, my daughter, standing there with a shy smile and a small gift bag in her hands. "Happy Mother's Day, Mom," she said softly. I froze for a moment, then pulled her into my arms, holding her as tightly as I could. It felt like holding a piece of my heart that had been missing for too long. She hugged me back, but there was something in her eyes, a heaviness, a sadness she tried to hide. I wanted to ask what was wrong, but I decided to let the moment breathe. After all, she was here, and that was all that mattered. We sat together in the living room, talking about small things, her classes, her roommates, how she had been eating better. But even as she spoke, her voice trembled slightly, and her hands fidgeted. I could sense she was building up to something. After a few minutes, she reached into her bag and pulled out a handmade card. "I made this for you," she said, handing it to me. Her voice cracked just a little. I smiled, touched by the gesture, and began to open it. The front was decorated with colorful drawings, just like the ones she used to make when she was a little girl. The words "Happy Mother's Day" were written in her neat handwriting, but something about the way she watched me made my heart tighten. As I unfolded the card, I saw there was more than just a sweet message. There were paragraphs written carefully, as if every word had been chosen with care and pain. The first line read, "Mom, there's something I've been keeping from you." My hands went cold. I looked at her, and she just nodded, silently asking me to keep reading. My heart began to pound as I read her words, about how she had been struggling in silence, about how lonely she felt at college, about how she sometimes cried herself to sleep. She wrote that she didn't want to worry me, so she pretended to be okay whenever we talked. I felt a lump rise in my throat. My little girl had been hurting, and I hadn't known. She had written that she felt like she had disappointed me, that she wasn't strong enough, not smart enough, not perfect enough. "I know you've always been proud of me," the letter said. "But sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it." I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. I reached out to hold her hand, but she gently pulled away and whispered, "Please, just finish reading, Mom." My chest ached as I continued. The next lines were even more painful. She wrote about how she'd been seeing a therapist for months, trying to deal with anxiety and fear. "I didn't want you to think I was weak," she confessed. "But today, on Mother's Day, I realized you deserve to know the truth. Because you're the only person who has ever truly loved me. No matter what." I stopped reading for a moment, unable to see through my tears. My daughter looked down, her hands trembling. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier," she whispered. "I didn't want to make you worry." I moved closer to her, cupping her face in my hands. "Oh, my sweet girl," I said, my voice shaking. "You never have to hide your pain from me." I hugged her again, this time not out of surprise or joy, but out of a fierce, protective love. She clung to me, sobbing into my shoulder, and I realized how much she had been carrying alone. That card wasn't just a message. It was a cry for understanding, a bridge between her silence and my heart. After a long time, she calmed down and looked up at me. "There's more on the back," she said softly. I turned the card over and saw one more paragraph written in slightly smudged ink. "Mom," it read, "I also wanted to thank you, because even when I didn't feel strong enough to love myself, I could still feel your love holding me together. You've been my reason to keep going." My tears fell freely again. I realized that while I had worried about losing my daughter's closeness, she had been clinging to my love all along, even from a distance. I kissed her forehead and whispered, You don't have to be perfect, Anna. You just have to be you. And that's enough for me. We sat there for hours, talking. Really talking. For the first time in years, she told me everything she had been holding inside. The pressure to perform, the loneliness of living away from home, the fear of not being enough. I listened to every word, not as a mother trying to fix things, but as a friend who simply wanted to understand. Sometimes we underestimate how much our children carry on their shoulders. We think they're fine because they smile, because they say, "I'm okay." But beneath that brave face can live a storm we never see until it breaks. That night, I made her favorite dinner, spaghetti with extra cheese, just the way she liked it when she was a child. We laughed, shared old memories, and for a while the heaviness lifted. She helped me wash the dishes, and at one point she looked at me and said, "I feel lighter, Mom, like I can finally breathe again." I smiled through my tears and told her, "That's what love does, sweetheart. It helps you breathe again." She smiled back, and for the first time in months, I saw the sparkle return to her eyes. When she left the next morning, she hugged me longer than usual. "Thank you for listening," she said softly, "and thank you for being my home." I watched her drive away, feeling both proud and heartbroken. I knew her journey wasn't over. Healing takes time. But I also knew she wasn't alone anymore. I had her back, the way a mother always should. I walked back inside, sat down with her card again, and read it one more time. Every word reminded me that love doesn't mean keeping someone safe from pain. It means standing beside them through it. Weeks passed, and I noticed a beautiful change in her. She started calling me more often, sharing not just her achievements but her worries too. Our bond grew deeper, more honest, more real. I realized that sometimes the most precious gifts are not wrapped in ribbons or boxes. They come in the form of truth, vulnerability, and love. That card had opened a door we didn't even know was locked, and through it, we both stepped into a new understanding of what it means to be mother and daughter. Months later, she sent me another card in the mail. This one was simpler, just a few words written across the front. "Thank you for never giving up on me." I placed it next to the first one on my nightstand, where I could see it every morning. It reminded me that even in the moments when we think we're failing as parents, our love is still shaping our children's strength in ways we can't always see. Looking back, I realized that Mother's Day wasn't just about flowers or gifts. It was about connection, about remembering that being a mother doesn't end when your child grows up. It's a bond that stretches, bends, and sometimes breaks, but never disappears. That year, I received more than just a card. I received my daughter's truth, her trust, and her heart, all wrapped in trembling handwriting and tear-stained ink. Since that day, I've made it a habit to tell her often, "You don't have to be perfect to be loved." And every time I say it, I remind myself too. Because motherhood isn't about raising flawless children. It's about loving them through their imperfections and showing them how to love themselves the same way. Sometimes, when I hold that card, I think of all the mothers out there waiting for a message, a sign, a phone call, something to remind them that their love still matters. And I wish I could tell each of them what I learned. Your love is stronger than silence, stronger than distance, stronger than fear. Life has its way of testing that love, of putting miles and misunderstandings between hearts that once beat in sync. But love, real, unconditional love, always finds its way back home. My daughter and I found ours that Mother's Day, through a card that broke my heart and healed it at the same time. Now every year when Mother's Day comes around, I don't wish for gifts or grand gestures. I just wish for honesty, closeness, and time. Because the greatest gift a mother can receive is knowing her child still trusts her enough to share their truth. And when I look at that card on my bedside table, I smile. It's a reminder that even pain can be a bridge, even tears can be healing, and even a single letter can bring two hearts back together. That day changed us both, not because of what was written, but because of the courage it took to write it. So, if you ever receive a card, a message, or even a tearful confession, Don't be afraid of what it reveals. Because sometimes, the most unexpected words are the ones that bring you closer than ever before. That Mother's Day, I didn't just receive a card. I received a miracle. My daughter's heart, open and honest, beating in sync with mine once again.